Hey guys, ignore how the lighting is bad and my hair looks insane. I just got out of the shower and I don't have a ring light right now. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I've noticed in the media and just honestly the world, like outside of TikTok, outside of Instagram, outside of the digital world, for lack of better words. I feel like it's not cool to be young anymore. And you're probably like, girl, what are you talking about? Well, let me explain and you can tell me if you've noticed this too. I feel like, at least based off things I've read and like heard from the people of older generations, I feel like it was so cool to be young. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think the world was better suited for young people back then than it is now, which is crazy because with all this progression and all of these protests and like movements, it shouldn't be that way, but I feel like it is because like how the economy is right now, and I'm not an economics person, like I couldn't tell you all the stuff about the tariffs and da-da-da-da, but like just going to the store and looking at the price of my groceries, it's like that is not suitable for new adults. That is not suitable for college students. That's not suitable for people who don't already have established careers. And I'm not even just saying that the political climate is bad for young people. Even just looking on the internet, I see posts of people being like, oh, I'm 27 and I don't have this, and oh, like, oh, silly me, I'm just 25. And it's like, it's sad to me because it's like, I grew up having people be like, just cherish when you're young, cherish your high school years, you know, oh, you're only gonna be young once, you're only gonna be 17 once, you're only gonna be 18 once. But I've not felt that reflection from the world probably ever. Even with the privilege to not have to pay bills or not have to, you know, buy my own groceries or whatever, I don't feel that. I feel like the entirety of my childhood, even ignoring my childhood trauma, I've always been pushed to be more adult-like. And I know that that's true for how it was back then, maybe even more so. You know, people had to work on farms. That's an inherently adult thing to do. It's like physical labor. But I think back then they valued that. I think that, you know, if you were like, hey, I'm a young 18-year-old, you know, male, and I can lift heavy things, you know, they wanted those kind of people to work for them because, you know, they can carry stuff, they, you know, they're a fresh mind, da 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 da. But now you go to look for a job, you're freshly 18, you know, you might have the greatest grades in the world, you might have community service, you know, like 100 community service hours, whatever, you know, you might have all these things under your belt, but you can't get a job at fucking McDonald's if you don't have experience. And it's like now everyone is looking for experience. They're not looking for strength, they're not looking for new perspectives most of the time. So it's like, I just don't think it's cool to be young anymore. And you can interpret the importance of this or lack thereof, but I just think it's interesting to note. I don't know if other people relate to this, I'm sure they do, but I just feel embarrassed for being young sometimes. And I have to stop myself and I'm like, literally there is nothing that you can do about your freaking age. There is nothing I can do to be born earlier than I was, you know what I mean? I can't transport to my 25-year-old self. That's just not how it works. But I find myself not knowing stuff like how to get a state ID or, you know, how to drive, what have you. And I just feel stupid. I'm like, older people are probably looking at me and they just think, oh, this stupid 18-year-old. You know, like she's new to the world. Oh, she thinks that she's found happiness, but she doesn't know yet. Like, oh, just, you know, and there's so many people who are just, they talk like this. They talk like, they'll reply to you, confiding in them with those things. And they'll be like, just wait till you're 25. Just wait till you have a job. Just wait till you have to pay your taxes. You know, just wait till you have kids. And it's like, that's not comforting at all. And I feel like there's a completely alternative way to reply to this. Like, you could say, hey, I was there too. It gets better. And it's tough, but you're gonna love being independent. Or, there's so many ways to respond to that. And I just think it's so weird. I know that there are ageist people who are like, who don't give older women the credit, for example, or they just see older people as less valuable. And I don't agree with that. I think a lot of the time I really admire older people because they know more than I do at the end of the day. They hold wisdom. They have lived experience, and I think you can learn from that. But a lot of these same people who are just preaching about that are ageist towards younger people, if that works. Obviously, I don't think there should be age wars going on. I don't think either of us should hate the other or whatever. But I just think it's, and this is not even like me trying to say something super out there and, just revolutionary. It's just something that I've noticed recently in the media I consume, in the movies I watch. It's the same thing. In the books I read, but also just in the real world, the interactions that I witness, the people I've interacted with, the people that interact with me. And it's so weird because it just, like, it has me scared to get old, but also simultaneously ashamed that I'm young. I don't know if any of that made sense, but it made sense to me, and that's all that matters. Thank you for watching. I hope that you gained some kind of insight. I don't know what this would do for you. I would actually really like to know what you think about this topic. I think it's really interesting. Bye.